This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you to the glory of God and to the benefit of all those who listen. Well, praise God. Praise God, and welcome back to iPad for All Computing. Want to remind you that next week we will have 3 sessions once again right here in the iPad class, and then the following week there will also be 3 sessions, but none on Monday because that is Memorial Day. So we'll have Tuesday, Wednesday, and our final session on Thursday, May the 29th. Hard to believe we're that close already to the end of the season, but we sure are. Now, today we're going to take a look at Numbers. The Apple Numbers app is a powerful spreadsheet app, and we're going to create a simple spreadsheet, and we're going to add a formula, and we're going to show you some other cool tips and tricks, and we might even show you one of the templates as well. I would point out, I believe, and this is just personal opinion, I could be wrong about this, but I believe spreadsheets can be a bit of an advanced thing. I don't feel like everyone's doing them. Maybe, some would argue that we should do them, keep track of our finances or, other things like that. But certainly it can get very complicated. And I am not an expert in how to set up complex formulas. I'm not an expert in how to set up complex spreadsheets. I know the technology behind it well enough to teach this to you in a simple form. And, I would encourage you to play with this in the use case that it is appropriate for you. Certainly, we're going to give you an overview, and you'll find that the Numbers app is very similar to Pages and Keynote in most ways. It's fully iCloud compatible. It has collaboration. It has the same general setup as the other 2 apps that we've learned already, Pages and Keynote. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Here's a screen share for you. And that's good to go. Here's original audio.
Original sound, button, more, button.
All right.
Picture-in-picture displayed, video.
Yep, absolutely.
Double
We're going to
tap
go right on
toggle
in.
Controls, a black YouTube, 230 freeform. iMove, key, click, page, Numbers.
Right
Double
on in
tap to
to
open.
Numbers. And again, if you're following along here, just like with Pages and Keynote, if it's your first time ever using these apps on this particular device, you're going to get the welcome screen, sort of onboarding, what's new in Numbers, those kinds of things, and you can just swipe on over and hit continue. I'll launch Numbers.
Numbers. Choose a template, button.
Okay, that's actually not the first button. If we swipe to the left, we're going to see
New spreadsheet, button.
New Spreadsheet, which is kind of the equivalent of the Start Writing button in Pages. It's just going to open up a blank spreadsheet for us. And we actually call these tables, and then you can have multiple sheets within a table. So we're going to go ahead and open a blank table. Again, to the right,
Choose a template, button.
we can definitely use one of the templates if we prefer to do so. As I said, I might show you that in a little bit. Also, I want to point out to the left is a sidebar.
Numbers. New spreadsheet,
No,
button.
to the right, excuse me.
Toggle sidebar, button.
And of course, it's hidden right now. And then as we keep swiping to the right, we have those 3.
Recents, tab, shared, tab, browse, tab.
Those 3 tabs. 3. And then we're going to find our existing spreadsheets on the right-hand side.
More, button, search. Blank. Finances 2021. Numbers file. /iPhone class agenda 2000. AK proposal at RG invoice ID. Invoice demo 24.
So you get the idea. We have all these, and one that I apparently
Finances 2. Blank.
forgot to rename, and I'm just going to go ahead and delete it because we don't even need it.
Delete.
Just did that with the rotor.
Finances 2000.
All right, so let's go ahead and create a new spreadsheet now.
Numbers. Multitasking. Ice cream test. More. Brush. Toggles. Shoot. New spreadsheet. Dimmed. Selected. Sheet selected. Empty cell. Row 2. Column 2.
Okay.
Double tap to edit. Use the rotor to access links, misspelled words, comments, highlights, nearby elements.
All right. So we already have the, we're already on one of the columns and rows, and we're going to come back to that. I want to show you around here a little bit first, and we may make some other changes to this. Up at the upper left, of course, as we would expect, there's a back button.
Back button.
Moving on, as we swipe to the right,
Blank 2. Actions menu. Button.
we want to rename this right away. So right off the bat, let's double tap on that actions button like we've done before.
Blank 2. Share. Button.
Move to the right.
Numbers spreadsheet. Rename. Button.
There it is. Let's look at some other ones.
Move. Button. Set password. Button. Hide comments. Button. Export. Button. Print. Button. Dismiss context menu.
And that's it. So
Dismiss
if you want to
context
go
menu.
back, we're going to go to
Button.
rename.
Rename. Button. Text field is edited. Video.
Good to know some of those other
Delete.
options there.
Delete. Selection deleted. Blank
And
2.
we'll call this TTJ Test 2025.
Cap T. Cap G.
Whoops.
Cap G.
Excuse me
Cap
there.
T. Cap J.
And then I'll put a
Hyphen.
and we'll do...
Cap T. E. At T. 2. 2 P. 0. 0. 2. 2 T. 5. 5. Done.
Okay, we've renamed it. Let's prove that.
Back button. TTJ Test 2025. Actions menu. Button.
Okay, going to the right now.
Insert table. Insert chart. Insert shape. Button. Insert media. Button. Share. Button. Undo. Dimmed. Button. Format. Button.
A lot of the same things, really almost I think probably exactly the same things as we had in Pages and Keynote. You can insert all the different, the shapes, the media. You have the format button, all of these different things. Of course, undo is grayed out right now because we've not done anything. But let's keep swiping to the right now because we're going to get into some different things.
Organize table. Off. Button.
Okay, and we're not going to even get into that right now for the sake of time and not sure.
More. Button.
There's the more button. We will take a look at what's in there.
Find. Button. Settings. Button. Help. Button. Customize toolbar. Button. Dismiss context menu.
Okay, pretty
button.
basic in numbers.
Back button.
In the more menu.
Form or more. Reading view. Button.
And again, reading view allows us to view the document, or in this case, the spreadsheet, without editing it.
New sheet. Button.
Okay, new sheet. We already have one, so we're not going to hit that right now. But if you wanted to have more than one sheet in this table, you could do so with the new sheet button. Again, there is already a sheet here, so we're going to keep going.
Selected. Sheet 1. Spreadsheet. 1 of 1. White 100 background. Double tap to edit sheet title. To change the background color, go to the Actions rotor and select sheet format.
Now, it told you a lot of good information there. There's an Actions rotor, apparently. It probably were already on it, but let's turn away from it.
Characters.
And back.
Actions.
Yep.
Activate.
And go down.
Cut. Copy. Duplicate. Delete. Sheet format. Activate. Default.
So we have exactly what they said we'd have. Sheet format if you want to change the background color. If you want to change the name of this sheet to something other than sheet 1, you can absolutely do that. And I usually do a demonstration of ice cream flavors that people prefer. We just make up random numbers, or sometimes I've done soda flavors. So I think we'll do ice cream. And I'm going to go ahead and rename this sheet. So we'll call it ice cream flavors. So let's double tap here. Okay, I heard a keyboard pop up. Let's see.
Done. Delete.
Delete sheet 1. Guess there's nothing in there already. So let's type
Cap I. India.
And
M. Ice cream. Cap F. L. Lima.
and then we'll
Done. Selected. Empty cell. Row 2. Table 1. 20. Column C referenced. Select ice cream flavors. Selected. Ice cream flavors. Spreadsheet. 1 of 1. New sheet.
so
Button.
we can see that it's now been renamed. Go to the right.
Ice cream flavors. White background. Column count handle. 7 columns. Adjustable.
Okay.
Row count handle. 22 rows. Adjustable.
So there's a lot more columns and rows than what we're going to need. And so we can remove those with these column and row count handles by simply swiping down to decrease the number of rows and columns, or swiping up to increase. And there's also keyboard commands for this, but I'm just going to do it on screen. So there's 7 going across right now. And let me think what we're going to need. We're going to need an ice cream flavor column. We're going to need a number of girls that likes that flavor of ice cream. We're going to need a number of boys that likes that flavor of ice cream. And we're going to need a column for our total of girls and boys combined. So I will only need 4 columns, not 7. So let's go over here to this column count handle.
Column count handle. 7 columns. Adjustable.
Swipe down.
Remove column G. 5 columns. 4 columns. Row column count handle. 4 columns.
And
Adjustable.
that's exactly what we want.
Swipe up.
Now, the next one, we have 22 rows. I'm only going to do the header rows with the names, the flavor of strawberry, the flavor of chocolate, and the flavor of vanilla for our test. I mean, you could certainly do other things, right? Rocky Road, blueberry, peanut butter, mint. We could go on, but I'm only going to do 4 of them, but I'll leave a couple extra maybe. So let's definitely, we don't need 22.
Row column count handle. Row count handle. 22. Remove row 15. 13, 12, 11. Remove row 11. Remove row 10. 8. Remove row 8.
Okay, that's probably...
Ice cream flavors. What column count handle? 4 columns. Row count handle. 7 rows.
That's
selected. Table 1.
Okay.
Ice cream
So
flavors.
that's good.
White background. Column A reference tab. Ice cream flavor.
So-
column count handle. Row count handle. 7.
That's definitely plenty now. We've removed a bunch of them, and that's still more than we're probably going to need, but that's okay. All right, so now we swipe to the right, and we start getting to where we're going to be entering data. But they have these reference...
Selected. Table 1. 7 rows. 4 columns. Table mover handle. Table start. 7 rows, 4 columns. Drag action available. Use the rotor to access links, misspelled words, comments, highlights, nearby elements.
All right, let's keep going.
Column A reference tab. Double tap to select. Column B reference tab. Column C column B table name. Table 1. Column B reference
So
tab.
they have the 4 columns there, and that's not where you enter the data. It's the next one here. Go to the right.
Table name. Table 1. Double tap to select the table's name.
Okay. And it looks like we could also rename the table. And I'm not going to bother with that right now, but maybe that's where we should have put ice cream flavors, or, you know, now we could put something more specific. But let's keep going.
Row 1 reference tab. Double tap to select. Row header. Column header. Row 1. Column 1.
That's where we're going to enter our first bit of data. Let's go to the right.
Double tap to select. Column header. Column 2.
Right. You're still in row 1, but now you're in column 2 to the right of it. So I want to enter into row 1, column 1.
Double tap to select. Row header. Column 1.
We're going to put the words ice cream flavor right there. Now, you have to double tap this once to select it.
Selected. Double tap to edit.
And then just like with a text box, you have to double tap it a second time to actually begin editing and typing.
Selected. Double tap to edit. Row header. Column 1. Selected. Text field is editing. Insertion point at start.
Now we can type.
Cap I. CECREAM. Space. Cream. Return.
What happened here? Did
Word cream.
It separated the
Echo.
2 words?
Space. Space.
All right, whatever.
FLAVOR.
Now, I always recommend hiding the keyboard when you're done with typing into a particular cell. So I will do that.
Hide keyboard.
That way
Double tap and hold.
we can check what we've typed up here.
Ice cream flavors. White background. Table 1. Ice cream flavors. Select. Double tap to double tap. Ice cream flavor. Row header. Row 2. Column 1.
Now we're on row 2,
Double
column
tap
1, and I'm gonna teach you something about that. But let's go back to the left because we want row 1, column 2.
Double tap to select. Column header. Column 3. Double tap to select. Column header. Column 2.
That's where we want to be next. We did
Selected. Ice cream flavor. Row header. Column 1.
right.
Double tap to edit.
So go over here.
Double tap to select. Column header. Column 2.
And that's column 2. That's where we're going to put number of girls. Now, of course, when you're typing this text, you can do all the things that you were always able to do in Pages and Keynote as well. You can format the text. You can change the paragraph style, add, change the font color, change the font size, all of these sorts of things. But I'm not getting into that today. So let's select this second column.
Selected. Double tap to edit.
Now, notice it says double tap to edit. I always kind of swipe away and swipe back to make sure.
Ice cream flavor. Selected. Double tap to edit. Column header. Column 2.
That we're in the right place.
Selected. Text field is editing.
And
cap N.
Number.
Cap N. U M B E O sp O F sp G I R L S.
Number of girls. Hide the keyboard.
Hide keyboard. Double
Up
tap
here,
it. Ice cream flavor. Column count handle. Row upper left. Middle left. Column A reference. Table name. Row 1 reference tab. Double tap. Double tap. Selected. Number of girls. Column header. Column 2.
Let's go to column 3.
Double tap to select. Column header. Double tap to edit. No. Selected. Double tap to edit. Column header. Column 3. Selected. Text cap N. Return. Cap N.
Yep.
U M B E O sp O F sp B O Y S.
And I've hidden the keyboard. Now, immediately.
Selected. Selected. Table 1. Double tap to selected. Number of boys. Column header. Column 3.
I can just
double tap to edit.
If I wait a moment, I can actually just swipe to the right. I don't have to touch the table and keep swiping a whole bunch as I've done before. I just was showing you around, but I really can just swipe to the right.
Double tap to select. Column header. Column 4.
And go to the next column, and that's what I want. So double tap to select it.
Selected. Double tap to selected. And double tap to edit. Column header. Column 4. Selected. Text field is editing.
We're going
insertion point at start.
We're going to put total.
Cap L.
Cap
T O T A L.
Hide the keyboard. Now, again, if we want to go to the next column, we just swipe to the right, but there are no more columns. So when we swipe to the right, what's going to happen is it's
selected, table 1, row 2 reference tab.
It's going to take us to row
tap to select.
2.
Use the rotor to act.
And we'll go past these reference tabs.
Number of boys. Ice cream flavor.
Oh, there's only one reference tab.
Row 2 reference tab.
Now listen to what happens when you swipe to the right.
Ice cream flavor. Row header. Row 2. Column 1.
Okay, we're in row 2.
Double tap to select.
Column 1. Go back to the left.
Row 2 reference tab.
There's the...
Double tap to select.
There's the reference. We're just going to ignore that. But here's the first column in the second row.
Ice cream flavor. Row header. Row 2. Column 1.
And that's where we're going to type
to select.
Our first flavor. Now, I also want to point out, if you want to work row by row instead of column by column, you can press the return key after each entry, and it will take you down to the next row. So if I have a bunch of data that I want to enter in the same row, like if I want to do all of the flavors right now, like strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, I can do that by pressing return each time, and it'll put me in the next row. The other thing is there's a rows option in the rotor. But if you want to go to the next column and work across, you just swipe to the right. So let's...
Ice cream flavor. Row header. Column 1. Double tap to select.
Okay, that was...
Row 2 reference tab. Ice cream flavor. Row header. Row 2. Column 1.
Double tap.
Double tap to edit. Row 2. Selected.
And we're going to type strawberry.
Cap STRAWBERRY.
And I'll go ahead and do the return this time to show you. We'll type chocolate.
Cap H. Caps HOOLATE.
And return. Type vanilla.
Cap VNILLA.
Hide the keyboard. All right, so let's look at what we've got. Now, I'm on that vanilla row, so if I swipe to the right,
Cap H. Cap H. Selected.
give it a second.
Table.
There we go.
Number of girls. Empty cell. Column 2.
That's actually going
Double
to be
tap
in
to select.
row,
Use the rotor to access
what would it
links.
be, row 4?
Row 2 reference tab. Ice cream flavor. Strawberry.
Oh, it actually has me on the strawberry. Okay. So strawberry's there.
Number of girls. And number of boys. Total. Row 3 reference tab. Ice cream flavor. Chocolate. Number of girls. Number of boys.
See, they're all filled in.
Total. And row 4 reference selected. Ice cream flavor. Vanilla.
So we've got that. We've got it the way we want. Now we have to go and start filling in some data. So let's go back up to strawberry here.
Strawberry. Number of boys. Total. And number. Ice cream flavor. Strawberry. Row head. Number of girls. Empty cell. Column 2.
And we're going to double tap.
Double tap selected. Double tap to edit. Ice cream selected.
And we're going to double tap again because it's on the correct one.
Selected. Selected. Text.
And how many girls are we going to say enjoy strawberry ice cream? Let's say 8.
8. 8.
All right. Now, again, we'll hide the keyboard. And we'll swipe to the right. The first time you do that does very little.
Oh.
But
selected. Table 1.
Now it's going to work. Swipe to the right.
Ice cream flavors. Selected. Table 1. Selected. Number of boys. Selected. Number of girls. 8.
It took me to the right place.
Number of boys. Empty cell.
And we have to enter how many boys
double tap to select.
Like strawberry.
Selected.
Double tap.
Double tap to edit.
Double tap again.
Selected. Number. Selected.
And let's say that
cap 6.
6 boys
6.
like the flavor of strawberry. Now, let me show you what we've got. So I'm going to, again.
Uniform. Column count handle. 4 row column count row upper middle left. Column B referenced. Row 1 referenced. Ice cream flavor. Number of girls. Number of boys. Total.
Okay, here's row
2 referenced. Ice cream flavor. Strawberry. Number of girls. 8. Selected. Number of boys. 6. Column 3. Total. Empty cell.
Now,
column 4.
We want to get the total
Double
number
tap to select.
of people, boys and girls combined, that like strawberry. And of course, I could easily figure out 8 plus 6, and I know that, but why should I do that when I can teach you how to use the formula feature? So there is a complete formula editor, and you can manually enter functions and so forth. But we also have quick formulas, and that's what I'm going to use because that will work just fine here. So we're going to go to total, double tap.
Selected. Double. Selected. Total. Empty set. Selected. Text field is editing.
Now,
insertion point at start.
Let's show you around. Before we start entering anything here, I'm going to touch the letter Q and start swiping to the left. That's probably going to be the easiest way to show you this.
Cap Q. Tab.
Swiping left.
Cell actions menu. Button.
Cell action menu.
Double tap to show cell actions menu.
That's what we're going to need very soon to get the formula that we want. But let's keep swiping to the left and show you what else there is.
Formula keyboard. Button. B. Cap I.
Quick type.
Vertical scroll bar. 7 ice cream flavors. White background.
Guess that's
lower
it.
Middle. Lower right. Vertical cap I. B. Formula keyboard. Button.
We don't want the formula keyboard right now because
cell actions menu button.
It's going to be easier just to
double
use
tap to show cell actions menu.
A quick formula, and those are in the cell actions. So let me show you the cell actions menu.
Tab, cell actions menu, but selected, text D2. D2, cut, button, copy, button, paste, dim, delete, insert, button, current date, button, current time, new formula, button, stock quote, but add comment, button, create pivot table, copy snapshot, quick formulas, heading.
Look at all those choices, and now we're on to quick formulas.
Sum, button, average, button, minimum, button.
Look at all that. And there's probably a whole bunch more. I'm going to pick sum.
Sum, button.
And watch what it'll do.
Formula editor is editing. Function start, sum. Cell range, B2 through C2. Function end, right paren, character mode.
So it's reading those to me automatically, and it's smart enough, praise God, to know that I want to do B2 plus C2, which is exactly correct, because B2 was the number of girls, C2 was the number of boys. So we've already input this formula. We don't have to, I don't think you have to do Anything else to commit this? Let me make sure.
Lower right, delete vertical formula, delete formula.
Yeah, because you can delete it. It's already there.
Vertical functions button plus but my times.
They have all
button,
these functions.
Divided left per right $colon text button less than.
And you can
button,
get the text
back.
keyboard. There's other things if you're doing, you know, other values they have, but
Greater than caret percent button.
let me see if there's anything else we really need here. I think we can just hide this.
Hide keyboard. Selected.
I think that's all we have to do.
Result 14.
And there it is. Look at that. Did you hear that? Formula result 14. Let's read it again.
Number of boys 6.
So we had
number of girls 8. Number of boys 6. Selected. Total. Formula result 14. Column 4.
Okay.
Double
So
tap to edit.
We're now good on that. Let's go on. That worked perfectly. Praise God. 8 plus 6 is indeed 14. So let's go over and do the number. Let's do chocolate now.
Row 3 referenced ice cream flavor. Chocolate. Number of girls. Selected. Double tap. Selected. Number of girls. Selected.
And
text
let's
field
say there's 12 that like chocolate.
Cap 1. 1. Cap Q. Cap Q. Cap 2. 2.
All right, there's 12. Let's say
E. Selected. Number of boys. Selected. Number of girls. 12. Number of boys. Selected. Double tap to edit. Selected. Selected. Text field is editing.
oh, let's say there's 15.
Cap Q 1. 1 2 5. 5.
All right, hide the keyboard. So
Ice cream flavors. Column count.
I touched instead of
Column
swiping,
B reference.
but that's okay.
Number of girls. Total. Column header. Column 4. Row 2 reference tab. Ice cream. Row 3 reference. Ice cream flavor. Chocolate. Number of girls. 12. Selected. Number of boys. 15.
And we have one more to do because
Total. Empty cell.
we don't have the
Column
total
4.
yet.
Row
but
4. Ice cream flavor. Vanilla.
Let's
Number
do vanilla.
Of girls. Empty cell. Selected.
And let's
Double
say
tap to edit. Selected.
Vanilla is
Text
going to be
field.
less. Let's say there's only 3.
Cap E 3. 3.
And let's say that there's 5 boys that like
R.
vanilla.
Ice cream. Row count handle. 7. Upper left.
Did I? Let me see.
Total. Row 3 referenced. Ice cream.
That's 3.
Row 4. Ice cream
It is
flavor.
vanilla.
Vanilla. Selected. Number of girls. 3. Number of boys. Empty cell. Selected. Double tap. Selected. Selected.
And 5.
Tech cap 5. 5.
Now, notice we still don't have totals here. And instead of having to use the, the formula action again, which I certainly could do, and for just this number of cells with this limited amount of data, that would be fine. But what if we had the real, like that you had 22 rows to start out with, or something like that, where you wanted to get a lot of data very quickly? It doesn't make sense to have to redo the formula each time, even though it was very quick. What we want to do is we want to autofill this formula. So there is a keyboard command for doing this. And there is a visual way to drag it too, but when you look up the voiceover instructions, they recommend the keyboard way. And so that's what I'm going to teach you. And praise God, we have a keyboard connected. We can use that. And so we're going to, what we need to do is to get this formula that was in that cell, what was it? B4, I guess it was.
Cap T. Column count. Row up. Table. Row 1 ref. Ice cream flavor. Number of girls. 8. Column. Number. Total. Formula result. 14.
There it is.
4.
It's that one. And we want
Double tap to select.
We want to fill that down through the rest of the rows in this table. Now, in order to do this, the first thing you're going to do is select the cell that you want, the cell that already contains the formula. You're not going to double tap it a second time to open up the editor, because then that brings up the formula keyboard and it doesn't work properly. You need to just double tap once to select it. Before I do, I'm going to move this iPad into the typing mode, so you may hear a little noise for a moment. Okay. All right. We're in typing mode now. So let's make sure we're still in the right place.
Row 3 reference tab. Strawberry. Total. Formula result 14.
Notice
Row
when you
2. Column 4.
notice when you swipe back to it, tells you what that flavor is automatically, which is nice.
Row strawberry. Total. Formula result 14.
See, isn't
Row
that
2.
cool? So we select it, double tap.
Selected. Double tap to edit.
We're not going to double tap to edit. Instead, we're going to use a special keyboard command. It is Command \. Remember, the command key is just to the left of the space bar or just to the right, but we're going to use the one to the left and use the \.
Entered autofill mode.
Okay. Now all I have to do, no voiceover keys here, all I have to do is press the down arrow for as many rows as I want to fill this. So let's press down.
D3 autofilled. D4 autofilled. D5 autofilled.
I'm going to do a couple extra,
D6 autofilled.
just in case. I think there was only one more.
D7 autofilled.
Now, to end this process and exit the autofill mode, I press Command \. again.
Exited autofill mode.
Okay.
Ice cream flavors. White back keyboard.
Now I put the
visible.
let's put
selected. Column count.
Let's
handle.
read this now. Let's see what we've got.
Columns. Table. Row 1. Ice cream flavor. Number of girls. Number of boys. Total. Row 2. Referenced. Ice cream flavor. Strawberry. Number of girls. 8. Number of boys. 6. Column 3.
This is the one we know we already did.
Selected. Total. Formula result. 14. Column 4.
All right, but let's keep going now.
Row 3. Referenced. Ice cream flavor. Chocolate. Number of girls. 12. Number of boys. 15. Selected. Total. Formula result. 27.
And look at
Column
that.
4. Row 4. Referenced. Ice cream flavor. Vanilla. Number of girls. 3. Number of boys. 5. Selected. Total. Formula result. 8.
Praise
Column
God,
4.
it's all there. And we
Double
even
tap
have
to
empty
edit.
ones.
Row 5. Ice cream flavor. Row header. Number of girls. Number of boys. Selected. Total. Formula result. 0.
And there's a 0 in there because we don't have anything in that row. There's no data set there that we can actually, sum. And so, but look at that. Praise God. It wasn't that cool. So that is how you can autofill, use simple formulas, any of those kinds of things that you want to be able to do. It's really, really easy to do it that way. Now, this is a spreadsheet in its, very, very simplest form. There are so many other things that you can do with this app. And again, I'm just not an expert on spreadsheets, but I'm trying to show you that it's fully accessible. And I am going to show you one other template. There are some other keyboards that appear when you enter, and I think they automatically are detected by what the data type is that you're using when you type something in. But I'm going to show you, let's go back.
Back button. Numbers.
And let's choose a template.
New spreadsheet. Choose a template. Button. Cancel. Button.
And I'm just going to show you one that I use sometimes, which is an invoice.
Choose a template. Recents. Button. Basic. Button. Personal finance. Personal. Business. Education. Recents. Heading.
Look at, let's just show you some of these to show you the kinds of things that are there.
Cap R. Vertical heading. Basic. Heading. See all. Blank. Simple table on a white background.
That's what we've already used.
Blank black. Table and chart.
Or maybe it was blank black, but anyway.
Pivot table and chart. Pivot table basics. 2 sheets that each contain the pivot table and source data table with descriptions and instructions for how to use them. Charting basics. 8 sheets that illustrate and describe different types of charts and how you can use them. Checklist. 1 table with columns for dates and checkboxes where you can mark completed tasks.
See, they've already got checkboxes in this template if you want to use them. Let's go down and show you some of the
Personal finance.
Heading. Ones.
See all. Simple budget. Personal budget. Personal savings. 3 sheets with green. My stocks. 2 sheets with shared expenses. 2 tables and 1 chart with blue and green accents that let you calculate how much each person owes when sharing expenses.
There's probably others. Let's go down to business.
Personal.
This is personal now.
See all. Calendar. Print friendly. Blank monthly calendar with bright orange accents. Schedule. Print friendly. 7-day calendar broken out by hour with turquoise accents. Running log. 2 tables. Home improvement. 5 sheets. 6 tables. And 2 charts that let you organize the to-do list, budget, contacts, and more for your project.
Look at all that. Let's go down.
Business. Head. Employee schedule. Invoice. One table with blue accents that lets you create easy-to-read invoices with order details and prices.
That's the one I'm going to show you. Let's just look at education.
Education, attendance, one table with blue and green accents that lets you record daily attendance using formatted date and checkbox columns. Grade book, 2 sheets, 6 tables, and 2 charts with blue and green accents that let you calculate class grades and curves, and generate reports when you enter assignment scores. GPA, 1 chart and 6 tables with blue and green accents that let you calculate cumulative grade point averages when you enter class grades and units.
Look at all that. And a whole bunch more, I'm sure. But I want to go back up and do this invoice one.
Educate business, invoice, employee, invoice, one table with blue
All
accent.
right, so we're going to open it up.
Invoice, one, selected, invoice, back button.
All right, because this is going to give you an idea of a little more advanced stuff now, because they've already set this up. So what we'll do,
Invoice, actions menu, button.
first we're going to rename it.
Invoice. Remove, button, rename, text field, is
I'll
edited.
keep the word invoice there.
Invoice, words, invoice,
and I'll just
characters,
add
cap P, W, double cap
okay, I'm
W,
going to add
cap
2.
2, done, cap I, cap P, 0, 0, double 2, 2, T, 5, 5, hyphen,
2025 invoice.
Cap, E,
Test.
hyphen, cap T, E, S, T.
Okay. Always rename them.
Back 2025 invoice test, actions menu.
All right,
button.
let's see what we've got.
Insert, share, but undo, format, button, organize, more, reading view, new sheet, but selected, invoice, spreadsheet, 1 of 1, invoice, white background, line. 2 points close to selections bottom right corner, double tap to select.
Okay.
Size, 486.2 points wide, 0.0 points tall, position, 4.0 points from top, 0.0 points from left, rotation angle, 360 degrees. Use the rotor to access links.
What they've got there is a literal visual line that I guess is designed to separate this on the invoice, and it makes it look good. Sometimes people insert those things, again for the look of it and to help keep things better organized. So go to the right.
Text box, company name.
Okay.
12 points close to select.
So they've got a text box here where you put your company name. I guess is it the company, probably the company sending the invoice, I think.
Text box, invoice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, no underscore reply at example.com, 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, any town, state ZIP. 89 points close to selections bottom right.
I think that's all my info as the business. And then I think if we go further.
Text box, attention, Trends Pruka title company name 4321 First Street.
Right, that's the recipient of the invoice. That's correct. So we're going to go in here and fill these out. And I've actually used this. When I invoice individual customers, I don't use this because I have a payment system that I use that they can just click to pay online with Apple Pay or a credit card or what have you. But when I invoice government agencies, I definitely do use this because they prefer to have an invoice sent to them via email in a PDF form, and then they can just keep it on file. So let's go here.
Text box, company name.
Double tap to select it.
Middle selected. Text box, company name. Text
double tap again to edit it. And we're going to type our company.
Cap T, Cap T, Cap J, space, Cap T, E, H, space, Cap A, E, F, F,
I misspelled that. Hold on.
Cap S, E, R, V, I, E, S.
All right, so that one's done. When you're not entering data, it's not so critical that you hide the keyboard right away because...
Line. Selected. Text box. Text field. Is editing. Company name TTJ Tech Services.
Does it have company name in there? I might have to delete that. Hold on.
Words. Tech. Name TTJ.
It does.
N A E cap T.
Okay, so I got to delete company name.
E M A N space N A P N O C.
I didn't realize that.
Cap
okay, now it's correct. All right, so that one's done.
Invoice. Details. Quantity. The text box. Select invoice. Text box selected. Text box. Text field is editing. TTJ Tech Services. Character.
Okay, the next one.
Text box. Invoice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. No underscore reply at example.com. 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street. Any town. State ZIP.
Okay, so
61 points close to
double tap to
selected.
select.
Text box.
It deselects the other one.
Middle left,
Notice.
up, text box. TTJ, up, middle left, selected.
Now we double tap a
text
second
box.
time.
Invoice, insertion
Now,
point at end.
we're going to...
Insertion point at start. Add comment. Return. New lot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, set 8.
So we remove this invoice number.
New 8, set 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And you could have selected it and done, text selection to do that a little more quickly. But I just did it this way. So you can give your own invoice number, whatever your numbering system is. And let's say my invoice number is letters and numbers.
Cap G, Cap L, hyphen U 7 8 left paren 1 6 6 E 3 3 activate E.
Whoops.
E
I wanted to...
3 W
Let's do another
E 3 double 2.
Okay, I've got my invoice number in there.
Return 9 0 line separator.
They have a line separator and then
N O underscore
no reply at example.com.
Underscore.
So I'm going to
O N
enter my email address.
November.
I'll select it.
Words, lines, text selection, word selection, no underscore, select reply at, select example, select selected.
All right, and I'll just type.
I, selection deleted, N, C, O, delete.
All right,
C,
info
F, O.
at, and my at symbol in this case will be in what place?
At, J,
and then
T, J, T, E, C, H, period, at space, cap, I,
and so
cap,
what
space,
I've done
B,
is
I,
I've put
Z.
the email address.
Return text character word lines. It GL hyphen 8633290.
There's my invoice number.
GL hyphen word line separator info at tech period biz.
All right, that's correct. And then the next one is my address.
Line set main street line state line separator ZIP.
And we won't do all that for the sake of time, but we'll hide the keyboard. So that one's done. We'll just say that
info upper left shape selected done. New sheet upper middle left selected text box invoice GL 8633290 line separator info at ttjtech.biz 1234 Main Street Anytown.
Again, we could change that too. And here's the next text box.
Middle right lower text box. Attention. Transpruka title company name 4321 First Street Anytown. State ZIP date 7/7/23 project title. Project name project description. Description here P.
Okay.
O. Number 12,345 invoice number 67,890 terms 30 days.
Now,
12 points close to selection.
There's a lot of stuff in that text box. For the sake of time, I'm not going to fill all of that out. But you see, it includes the company that you're invoicing, the recipient, to whose attention, their information. In some cases, I didn't have physical addresses, so I would just put email addresses or websites, whatever information you have. It had the project title, it had a PO number, an invoice number. If you don't have all of that, you can delete any of those, or you can change them to fill in the correct information. And then it had the terms of the project, which sometimes were different depending. Like it said 30 days here, but that may be different, for you. Just depends. You can fill in anything you want there. So that's the next text box. A lot of stuff in that text box. Now go to the right.
Details, 8 rows, 4 columns. Description, column header, row 1, column 1. Table start, 8 rows, 4 columns. Double tap to select.
All right,
Use
let's
the rotor to access.
Go to the right.
Quantity, column header, column 2. Unit price, column header, column 3. Cost, column header, column 4.
So we have quantity.
Double tap to select.
We have unit price and we have cost.
Description, item 1, row 2, column 1.
All right, the first one's
Double
actually
tap to select.
description. Notice
Quantity, 55. Unit price, $100. Cost, formula result, $5,500. Column 4.
that's because there must be other.
Description, item 2, row 3, column 1. Quantity, 13. Column, unit price, $90.
Yeah.
Cost, description, item 3, row 4. Quantity, 25.
They've got a
Column
lot
2,
of-
unit cost, description, empty cell.
Okay.
Quantity, empty cell.
We've got 4 of them. So let's go ahead and do these.
Cost, unit price, column header, column 3. Cost, column header, column 4, description, item 1, row 2, column 1.
So description.
Double tap to select. Selected. Double tap to edit. Selected. Description. Selected.
All right.
Text return. Delete. Item 1.
We have item 1 right now is how they have it.
Characters.
We can delete that and put something else in there.
1. E-T cap I.
All right. Well, what item do we want to call this? Well, let's say somebody bought the Titanic book from TTJ, so we can do
Cap T I J B I C. Titanic. Delete.
Okay, there we go. I fixed it. Praise God. Titanic book.
Cap B O O O K.
Now let's hide the keyboard and go
P.
to the right
Invoice.
because
White background. Show keyboard. Button. Invoice. White background. Show cell actions menu. Cell action. Invoice.
look
White
at the
background.
bottom. It has show keyboard because it's hidden now.
Text box.
Isn't that cool?
Attention.
All right, so
Upper. Selected. Description. Titanic book. Quantity. 55. Column 2.
well, let's say that they
Double
didn't
tap
buy
to select.
55.
Selected. Double tap to selected. Quantity. Selected. Tech return. 5. 5.
Let's say instead
Delete. 5. 5. Delete.
they bought 30.
Cap 3. Activate 3. 3. Return. P 0. 0.
Okay, I've got 30. So the
Invoice text box. Cost. Description. Titanic book. Selected. Selected. Text field is editing. 30. Selected.
Okay.
Text in text box. Invoice.
now the next question is
Cost. Formula result. Unit. Selected. Selected. Details. Comma.
oh, I have to. I thought I hid the keyboard.
In text. Description. Titanic book. Selected. Quantity. 30. Unit price. $100.
Well, it doesn't
Column
cost
3.
$100 per
Selected. Double tap. Selected.
unit.
Unit.
It
Selected.
only costs.
Text return. 0.
Let's delete
Delete. 0. 0. 1. VF.
It only costs
Foxtrot.
$21.99.
2. 2. Keep 1. 1. Period. Return 1.
Did I get a period in there?
Comma.
No, I did not.
Period. Period.
Okay.
9.
And then
8.
Uh,
9. Not 9. 2.
now my keyboard changed to
Space.
being a numbers
Emoji.
because I accidentally
Letters.
did that. That was my doing, but I was doing it with the flicks the other way. Either way is fine. Hide that keyboard.
Hide keyboard.
Don't forget that
Double
because
tap and hold. Then
I
drag
just
up.
did a minute ago and then it was jumping all around.
Show keyboard.
Okay,
button.
it's hidden now. So
Invoice text box.
let's look again.
Cost. Column header. Description. Titanic book. Quantity. 30. Selected. Unit price. $21.99.
And
Column
now it's
3.
gonna-
Cost. Formula result. $659.70.
Okay,
Column 4.
because they bought 30 of them.
Double tap to select.
And so, it's automatically doing this because the formula's in there, and we could keep going, right? We could do another one.
Description. Item 2. Row 3. Column 1.
Let's do one more.
Double tap to select. Selected. Double tap to edit. Selected. Description. Item 2. Column 1. Selected.
Okay.
Return. It. EX2.
What are we going to say they bought?
E-T cap I.
Let's do something fun. Let's say they bought some kind of specialty candy.
Cap
So we're
P.
going to call it
Cap P-E-C-I-A-L-T-Y. A-N-D-Y.
Don't forget to hide that keyboard.
Hide keyboard. Double tap and hold. Then drag up to alter keyboard. Hide keyboard.
Now.
Selected. Details. 8 rows. 4 quantity. Description. Empty cell. Column 1. Cost. Empty unit.
Oh.
Quantity. Empty unit price.
row am I on
Empty
here?
cell. Description. Empty cost. Cost. Formula.
Oh, there we go. I was too far down.
Cost.
All right.
Column. Unit price. Quantity. Column header. Column 2. Description. Column header.
That was the Titanic.
Unit price. 21. Quantity.
Here's our-
Selected. Description. Specialty candy. Quantity.
And
13. Column 2.
Let's say
Double tap to
they
select.
bought. Well, we'll leave it at 13. That's fine.
Unit price. $90. Column selected.
it's,
Double tap to edit. Selected. Selected.
It's only gonna
Text
be-
return. Dollars. Not 0. Delete. 9.
$8
I. 8. 8.
per box. So that's good. So let's look.
U. Select quantity 13. Description specialty candy. Quantity 13. Selected unit price $8. Column 3 cost. Formula result $104. Column 4.
And there you go. And then
double tap to select.
They have this totaled up. If you keep swiping,
unit description.
They have some other ones in there, so it's going to be a different total than what we're expecting. But
quantity, unit price, cost, formula, description, empty set, unit price, description, cost, formula.
And
result,
if you don't need all of these, you can delete them. You can remove
unit price, total, column 3.
Columns
double
and rows
tap
that
to
you don't need.
Quantity, empty sub, description, empty sub, cost, invoice, selected, details, 8 row, show keyboard.
So
button,
now,
invoice, white text box, invoice, text.
At the very bottom, as we swipe through this, they have
lower right select unit price in selected. Thank you for your business. It's a pleasure to work with you on your project. Your next order will ship in 30 days. Sincerely yours, Ernest Emper.
We can edit
24 points close
that text box as well.
Lower right text box. Thank you for your show keyboard.
At the very, very bottom. So they've got this set up as a very nice invoice template for you. And you can see how easy it is to work with this and to enter data. Now, I mentioned to you one of the keyboard commands that's very important if you're going to autofill formulas, if you're creating them yourself, and that's command \. Once you've entered into that autofill mode, you just use the down arrow to continue to fill down, or whichever direction you need, you press the arrow key. No voiceover keys with it. And when you're finished autofilling, you press command \. to exit the autofill mode. There are a lot of other shortcut keys that Numbers has. There are keyboard commands to add a column after, add a column before, add a row, even just to move from cell to cell. You can move the right arrow to move to the next cell. It automatically selects that cell for you. You can use the left arrow to go back to the previous, all these kinds of things. And again, what I would encourage here is that when you're in the Numbers app, if you are using a keyboard, you can press and hold the command key. Remember that from before, excuse me, and that brings up a popover of most or all of the keyboard commands that are available to you in the app. And remember, those are not voiceover specific commands. And really, this command \ thing is not a voiceover specific command either. That's how they tell you to do it with voiceover, but it's not specifically for only voiceover users. That works for anybody. Sighted users, you can also drag. You can copy and paste. There's a lot of ways. I mean, I could copy and paste with voiceover. There's a lot of ways to do that, but the command \ is going to definitely be one of your easiest ways to do that. So this has given you, I think, a very basic overview, but still an overview of the Numbers app. And I would encourage you to play with it, as I said before. And we're going to go in a moment to your questions. But again, this is fully iCloud compatible. These are collaborative. You can export them as different file formats, including Excel if you need. PDF, I mentioned, you can set a password so that these things are not editable. And there's just so much more you can do with this as needed.
Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Have an additional comment or feedback? Email us info@ttjtech.biz or info@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. Or check out our websites for additional resources. That's ttjtech.biz or stiritup.com. And remember, subscribe to the newsletter when you're there. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming announcements or events. Thanks for joining us. God bless, and see you next time.